Hey, is this working? Yeah, good. It dawned on me while the countdown was going that I brought a new USB hub and I've messed everything around, and this is USB. So I was like, just my luck that I'll start the stream and nothing's working. But I think we're okay. The bars are going up. Spotify's not too loud. I'm moving on the screen, so I think we're good, which is cool because it was all going wrong right before the stream. My little squirt bottle that I used to rinse my airbrush out had a leak. I normally have it hanging there off a shelf. And then there's a great big puddle on the floor. And I was like, where the hell's this coming from? And it looked like it was coming out of my air hose that I have hanging there as well. But no, the bottom seam of my bottle, like around there, had cracked somehow overnight. It was just hanging there doing nothing, and for some reason it cracked. So yeah, I had a big puddle of water. Then I noticed that my drain for my air compressor was completely full up of oily water. And then I noticed the USB thing, and it was all just complete chaos. So I'm glad everything's working. So, swing Mr. Camera in. Who we got? Steve, I've said hello to you. John, evening uncle. Sorry about the spam bot thing, I forgot to turn the settings down. Kenneth, evening buddy. Right, wet one's whistle. And are we streaming to all places? Twitter, yes. Facebook, yes. Twitch, yes. YouTube, yes. Brilliant. Alright, we can get cracking then. So, why do we want? We want this one. This one here. And then let's frame her chest appropriately. Just like that. So I haven't done anything on this Supergirl picture while I've been off air. I've been playing with other stuff. If you follow my socials, you'll see I've been playing with a 3D print. Come here. Josh Brolin on a stick. I've been mucking about with that. It's a 3D file of Cable from Deadpool 2. So yeah, I haven't done anything on this all week. So it's right where we left it, and I reckon today we'll get cracking on that emblem on her chest. Is she film or TV? I want to make it the original film Supergirl from the 80s, whose name escapes me right now. But I've just done a rough face in there at the moment. It's not actually made out to be her. I've got to find a good photo reference of her. But yeah, I'll do that bit last, because the hair's going to take a while as well, so I'll just do everything else and then leave that bit till last. But that's what I'm aiming for, the original 80s Supergirl. Now, I've already cut this out. So I took the mask, you remember, the mask that was this whole blue area, I kept it. So I've just stuck it back down, and then I've cut around the, what's it stand for? Is it Hope or something? I was going to say Super logo, but it's not. It stands for Hope or something, doesn't it? But I've cut around that anyway. So do we do the red first, or do we do the yellow? That is the question. Let's go with the red, I reckon. So I'll just peel off the red bits. Very carefully, not to make a hole in the paper. I'm good at that. That bit's not quite cut. See, look, it's tearing up the paper a bit. That's a bit of a bugger. See along that top edge there. Helen Slater, that's the one. Thank you, mate. That was bugging me. Yeah, nothing against the new lass in the TV show. It was all fine and dandy as Supergirl, but Helen Slater will always be Supergirl to me. I'm going to peel this off really carefully. I've gone a bit heavy with the scalpel when I was cutting it out. And you see there, look, it's started to peel the paper up a bit. That camera looks really bright. Wow. I'm Mr. Pasty. So, let's stick that on there, because I'm going to need that again later. And while I'm here, let's just quickly sort out those camera tones, because my hand is not that pasty. Properties on camcorder and configure video, and that's a bit better. Turn the brightness down a bit. Up the saturation. Yeah, that's more like it. We'll go with that. Right, and because I've stupidly done that with the page, I've got to try and get rid of that bit now without making it work. Gently scuff it with a scalpel blade, it normally takes that bit off. Okay. Instant digital tan, yeah. Right, so what are we going to start with? Let's start with a really bright red. So I'm going to start with Illustration Scarlet. Give that a good shake because I found it in a paint pot in the week, a paint box, sorry, in the week. And it's been sat there for about 5 years. So I don't know if it's going to spray alright. It feels like it's liquid, so we'll give it a go. What's the worst that can happen, eh? Now, I want this to just be solid red, so I'm not going to reduce it really. Might add a couple of drops of transparent base just to help with the stickiness. Just so when I apply the mask back over later, it doesn't take off the paint. Because I'm good at getting that as well. Making sure that it's transparent base and not white, because I've done that in the past. Give that a chuffing good shake. Okay. Yeah, it still sprays, that's good. It's good. That's cool. Just make sure that's dry with the old air. Like so. Now what should I use to shade it? I don't want to just go in with black, so we'll use a violet or something, I reckon. I should have one here. Yeah, look at that. So I've got probably about 3 drops of that illustration scarlet left in my paint pot. I'm going to add 1 drop of illustration violet to it. Right. And now I'm going to start reducing it as well. So there's probably about 4 drops of paint in there. So I'm going to do 4 drops of the 4011 reducer as well. It's already got some transparent base in it, so I won't add any of that. This is where I could do a stencil, which is up there. Just a freehand shieldy jobby. Would it be easier to use my mask from a second ago? That might be easier. So I want to do like a 3D effect on this. I think it was Henry Cavill's first one that had like a 3D effect on it. I'm going to go for that. So if I do that about there. It needs to be a bit higher. Nah. Nah, that won't work. Back to the stencil. Back to the freehand one. We're right about there. Well, I can see paint going down, but it doesn't appear to be changing the colour. This is a mask, isn't it? Yeah, so I can spray on this, that's alright. There we go, now it's looking purple. Let's try that again. See, make it all 3D like. Camera restarts itself. And that needs to go right the way around. Kind of like that. but whilst leaving a little gap there. About like that ish. So who watched old Charles get a new hat today then? I watched it for a bit and then I got bored. I am well and truly on the fence when it comes to the monarchy. Don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing really. What am I doing? I know what I'm doing. One moment, viewer. I'll be right back. Please hold. That's cool. Right, my chat on the screen keeps glitching out. I was wondering if it had frozen, but it hasn't. Which is good. We like that. Right, so bottom bit. So that curve there will have the darker part, like I've done there. The bottom here will be light. The light is coming from this top right angle, don't forget. So even though that's on the front of her chest, it's still going to catch some light from coming up top. So this edge there is dark, and then the bottom edge of this S here, that's going to have a little shadow on it. Let's find one of these shapes on here that's kind of the right kind of shape. Kind of. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And then we shall go in. Yeah. Just wondering if I needed to mask off this bit here, but no, I don't. There's not going to be such a drastic shadow on this bit. Not like I did in the middle bit. Going to be quite subtle, isn't it? Like that. Which the camera is only just picking up, but it's darker than that in real life. So just sprayed a bit going down this edge just to shade it all down, because we had a bright bit here, so I've brought that to the same tone as that there and this outer edge of this S, just to give it that curved look. And then across the top it's going to progressively get lighter, so it'll be this slightly darker tone there and then get lighter as it goes over that way. You gotta always think about your light source, you see. Just that. And then this bit will be pretty darn bright because it's in the top right corner. So all the light is catching that bit. Yeah. So I'll now ditch all of that paint, that scarlet and violet mix. Rid of all of that. Don't need that anymore. Now, do I want to go black on that, or will that be too dark? That is the question. Yeah, let's get a bit of black. I won't go pure black, though. I'm going to get some Wicked Detail Smoke Black. That's not quite so harsh. I'm just going to knock in a bit in this bottom bit here, because that will be the darkest bit just there. Gonna have it fairly well reduced, so I've got 2 drops of that smoke black. I'm gonna have 4 drops of reducer and 2 drops of transparent base, which is probably reducing it a bit far, but see how it goes. Always reminds me of Araldite glue. The Wicked Detail colours, they just smell like Araldite glue. You know that 2-part glue you get? Really smells like Araldite, that stuff. Anyway. Be nice if I had a curve that was that shape perfectly, wouldn't it, really? That curve work? No, it doesn't really, does it? Where's my other curly one? There it is. Have we got any shapes on there that fit the bill? What about that one? It's too curved on the top. What about that way around? Oh, look at that, you beauty. Yeah, it's not a perfect fit though. They're a better one. No, they've all got curved edged on them. Okay. It'd be nice to spray this curve in one go rather than 2 different stencils like I did before, but I don't think I'm going to get away with that. Remember which one I used now. think it was that one. No. That's always a problem, isn't it? When you can't remember what stencil you've used, or what bit of the stencil you've used. Was it that? Aha, it was that. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's cool. We'll just tone this bit down a bit as well. Not all the way, but just a bit darker than the rest. Right, now we've got to do the 3D bit. Like a harsh shadow on it. I'm just wondering if there needs to be one there as well, really. Could do with one. Yep. What's that? Astral Solari, evening buddy. Hope all is well your end. Right, so I'm sticking this back down, but just off from where it's supposed to be. I've just gone up and to the right ever so slightly, only by about a millimetre. Peel that off carefully again. Yeah, there you go. That's just giving us a 3D look on that bit. Where else do we need one, really? Do I need one around the border? That is the question. I know I need one on that bit there, but I can't. Yeah, that I've got to do when the mask is off. Yeah, that's right. So that's all cool. So we'll put that back there. Now we've got to do some highlights on here, so we'll ditch the black. Glad to hear your end is all healthy, mate. It's always a good thing. So we're going to go with white for this one because it's quite a shiny emblem, isn't it? So we don't have to worry about pinks or anything like that. We'll just go straight in with some white. Got 3 drops of white and 3 drops of juicer, and for extra stickiness 2 drops of transparent base. Right, so now we need to go the opposite of what I've just done. So this top edge will have a bright mark on it. What about this one? Close enough. Just for good measure. We'll combine 2 stencils like that. Yeah, it looks cool. And we'll just dust some white in over this side because it's a brighter side, it's closer to the light source. Not a lot, just a little bit. Who are just a little bit, as Gina G used to say. think a stencil will be too clean for this, but I was going to do a little rim light going off the edges, but I think a stencil would be too clean for that bit. I think I'll do that bit later when I've got everything unmasked. Yeah. Although we do need one around the outside of the logo. So again, I'm going about 1 millimeter off of where it should be. The shadow, I had the stencil up and to the right. So for the highlights, I need the stencil down and to the left because it'll be opposite. I'm just going to carefully do a line across the top here. Making sure that's stuck down, of course. Yep, that's nice. In fact, I like that so much. I'm going to do the same there. It's just a bit on that little horn there and on the top corner here. But for that bit, it needs to be moved down a little bit. That's cool. And then another one just on this little knobbly bit here. You got my finger. Thank you. Come off. Okay, so that's that. What do I lock that down with? Let's get rid of that white first. Don't need that anymore. Nah, it'd be a bit hardcore that, wouldn't it? I was going to use some of that to lock it down, but that's going to be a bit hardcore. Plus it's like treacle, that stuff. It will never spray from my airbrush, so let's just stick with transparent base. Which is there. Or, actually, There you go, I'm going to use some of that Autoborn transparent sealer, although I think this is quite thick as well, but we'll see how it goes. It's just to lock this down so that when I put that mask back over the top it doesn't peel off the paint, because I noticed the illustration colours, especially the way I have them reduced, quite easy for it to lift the paint. I've just got 2 drops of the Autoborn transparent sealer, and I've added 2 drops of reducer, which technically means I've over reduced it, because they normally say about 10% for that, but considering I'm squirting it through a micron and it's going on a porous surface, I think we'll be okay. Not too thick, because we've still got mask in there that we've got to peel off, and you don't want the skin on there. Just using the air from the airbrush to dry that off. Yep, that feels dry. Cool. Definitely need a new air hose. Bless it. It's done me proud for 15 years and it's starting to give up the ghost. If I move my air hose like that, I can hear air escaping. Poor old thing. Done well. It's had a good life. Okay, so that is now dry. We need to reapply our stencil, because we've done the red bits. Now we're going to do the yellow bits. Now you get the fun of trying to put this back down right where it was. I always find it easier to kind of get it in a rough kind of place and just tap it down lightly, and then just use a scalpel blade very gently and just tease it into position. Just a little bit by a little bit, just go around every few millimeters and just tap the scalpel blade onto it just to stick that little bit down. That way if you need to manipulate it, you can move it around just a bit. The scalpel blade, obviously be careful you don't cut through to the surface or anything. Like that. Beautiful. Right. I'm not going to push that down too hard. I'm just going to push that down with my finger. Not too much pressure. Most of my air leaks out to the quick connector if I turn the brush about. I haven't worked out how to stop it from happening yet. Maybe I need to wrap it in PTFE tape or something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, mine. I don't think mine's my quick connector. Nah, mine's coming from here. This metal join where it joins the hose. My quick connector's fine. Yeah. Like I say, it's an old hose. It's done me well. So now we need to peel off the yellow bits. Is this bit? I was saying that, did Helen Slater's one actually have a yellow bit, or was it different? Let's have a look. Google Chrome and Helen Slater Supergirl images. Yeah, had a. I see. Yeah, she had like the Christopher Reeve S. Hers was just straight red and yellow with no fancy bits. So technically, I've done this wrong, but never mind. This is the way I wanted to do it. So. Right, stick these up there so I've got them for later. Okay, so there's our yellow bits. Funnily enough, the first colour I'm going to spray in there is yellow. Didn't see that coming, did you? So, illustration, yellow. Well, I've got a clogged bottle here. That's not wanting to come out of there. Yeah. I've got 4 drops of yellow. I'll add a couple of drops of transparent base just to give it more stickiness. It also makes it a bit more transparent, but it's a base coat basically. I'm not worried about that. Nice. Get rid of that. Actually, should I? No, let's keep hold of some of that. So I've still got about 3 drops of paint in there. So 3 drops of the yellow. I'm going to add 1 drop of illustration orange. Eric, evening, mate. Bob Ross. Yeah, I need to get one of those black afro wigs, don't I? Start painting happy little trees. So, like I say, I've got I'd say about 3 drops of yellow still in the paint cup. I've added 1 drop of the orange to it. And now I'll add some reducer, so I'm adding 3 drops of reducer into that mix. Just to basically take the base yellow and slightly tint it more towards an orange, so you can't really see it in the paint cup, but it's not as vibrant as that out the bottle. It's much more yellowy. So again, sun's coming from up this direction, so this side will be shaded, that side will be bright still. Make sure we've got the orange coming out the airbrush and not the yellow. There. That'll do that. Can you see it on camera? Yeah, you can. So I've left the bright yellow here, and I've, at that sort of an angle, I've just faded in this orange-yellow mix. That'll do that, so I'll ditch that, and now we'll go for pure orange with no yellow in it. Or do I want to do a burnt umber instead? No, I don't want to do that. That won't look right. We'll stick with orange. So I've just got 3 drops of the orange straight out of the bottle with 3 drops of reducer. Just like that. Now I need to add some shadow from that S. Do I do that with orange or do I do that with black? That is the question. I think it would look better with black rather than orange. Yeah, looks cool. So we'll ditch what's left of that. Now I could stick my masks back down, but that's going to take too long. So I think we'll just use a freehand mask for it. So what I'm going to do is add the light's coming from this direction, so like this curve here, I'm gonna add a black shadow, just like a 0.5 millimeter shadow line, just going like along there and underneath there, and then underneath this bit here, and then underneath bit that. He also said there's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. I can't see anything wrong with that. Sounds alright to me. I bet a tree would come with a lot less drama than some friends. So for this shadow bit, I'm going to use the old detail smoke black again. But I'm going to reduce this quite well, I think, because I don't want it to be pure black. I'm just going to have 2 drops of the smoke black in the paint cup. I'm going to have 4 drops of reducer in it. And for stickiness, 2 drops of transparent base. Right, now we've got the fun of finding some shapes that are right. That fits well. Fiddly bit this is. You can hardly see that on camera. It's there, trust me. You also need one in this top corner here. We've one on that bit, we've done that top curve there, we need one in this little triangle bit here. Do we need one on there? Maybe a slight one, nothing too in your face. And we need one under here. And then one under there. Now, because of the way she's posed, we're going to see one along that edge there where the yellow bits are, just because of the way she's turned. Or will we? Yes, we will, yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's see if I can peel that mask off without peeling all the paper up, like I did earlier. Really stuck down for some reason, so I'm going very careful. Careful now, yeah, exactly. I'll stick my tongue out and everything. There we go. And then if we take off the mask that's over her blue top. Fingernail under it. Come on. Zoom out a bit. Started to peel up a bit there. Go a different way. Don't normally have this much trouble with this board peeling, but I am this time for some reason. Cool beans, there we go, one logo. And we need a bit of shadow on the blue top from the symbol, but I'm tempted to add that in with coloured pencil rather than airbrush, just because of the issues I've been having with peeling. Just to be on the safe side. So, what's next, they say? Suppose work our way down, so next bit will be the belt. Now what colour was her belt? Was it just yellow or was it gold? It was just golden yellow. Okay, we can do that. So we're gonna need... I won't stick this whole mask back on there, because especially up here where I had that boo-boo, could peel off, so I'll just chop the bottom bit of this mask off and use that. So just the belly section. Make sure we get that in the right place again. Like before, I'm just getting it into roughly the right place, and then I'm just using my scalpel blade to make sure it's 100% where it needs to be. Beautiful. Right, and then cut out this belt without cutting the paper like I did up there. And then I've cut that enough. Hopefully this will peel up. And I've gone off the camera and never even noticed. That was clever. One belt. Pick that up there for later. Really and truly, I should do like all the yellow bits in one go and all the blue bits in one go, but because I waste a lot of paint. But I just like working this way, do each section to completion. Then carry on to the next bit, you know. And we're doing on time, 8:15, that's cool. So we will go back to the yellow again. Just the illustration yellow with a couple of drops of transparent base in it. Give that a good shake. Much easier to not worry about the colour switching, yeah. Yeah, it would save a lot of time if you did like all the yellow bits in one go, etc, etc, but I keep on throwing that shield on the floor. Come here. Stay up there. Is that in focus? Yeah, it is. That's good. Evening, Ian. How are you on this fine evening? Make sure it's got a good solid coat of yellow. Obviously don't lay it down too thick. Did you know that? My airbrush sounds like it's got a clog in it, which is nice. There we go. Sometimes you can get lucky and spray it through, and I think I just did. Now we want this to look the same as the oranges on that bit, so we won't use any browns. We'll just use straight up orange, for which we'll do Let's do a 50-50 mix, I reckon. Normally I would just really reduce my orange and use the layering technique, you know, where the more layers, the more opaque the orange gets, and I'd just whack in some orange and just go for it. But because that's not the way I did the logo, do it all the same. So we'll do a couple of drops of yellow with a couple of drops of orange. Also drop some yellow on my jeans. Good. Actually, let's go for 1 drop of orange. So I've got 2 drops of yellow in there. I'll go for 1 drop of orange, just so it's not too hardcore, because this is a really potent orange, this one. It's a strong pigment, that I find. And I'm going for a couple of drops of transparent base, and then just for good measure, 2 drops of reducer. Yeah, colour. So again, light source up here, so this side will be darker than this side. And also, I'm doing a 3D kind of belt, so it's gonna have a line across the middle there. Is that still in focus? Yeah. What's going to be the easiest way of doing this, he says. Here we go, now we're cooking. Is this a commission? No, this is just for fun, mate. Cheers, buddy. So just free-handed in a darker line across the edge on there. I used a stencil on this side because I wanted it to be harder. I swear that's out of focus. Come on, camera, sort yourself out. That's better. So yeah, I used a stencil on this side. I free-handed it on this side, just because when things are in light, they look crisper. And then I've free-handed in just like a millimeter line of this slightly darker orange around the outside there, just to give the illusion of shadow sort of thing. Just so the yellow doesn't suddenly stop next to the blue, you know, it has a bit of a transition, if you know what I mean. And then I'm going to do her belt in sections. You can't really see my pencil marks very well. There you go, now you can. So you see I've got it in segments. So it's going to be split up into sections. So now I need to freehand a darker line in those. Just to make it look like they're panels of the belt connecting, you know. Just like that. Oh, that's cool. I'm liking that. So we will ditch what I've got left of this paint and we will go to the pure orange now. I want this quite reduced, so I've gone for 3 drops of paint, 6 drops of reducer, and the good old 2 drops of transparent base. That looks cool. Nah. Part of me really wants to add some brown in it, like some burnt umber. But no, I won't. I want to keep it tied in with the yellow of her symbol. And there's no brown in that. And if I add brown into that, it will look too dark. Whenever I paint something gold, I always start with yellow and then orange and then like a burnt umber. And I find it gives a good goldy look, but no, I'm not going to do it on this one. Let's add some white bits. So good old illustration white. Make it look all shiny and stuff. Now I don't want this to be too transparent, so I've got 4 drops of white with 2 drops of reducer in it. Want to be able to see it. And then just think about where the edges are. So like on these different panels here, the light source is coming from this angle. So this edge here will catch the light. And if you do this bit freehand rather than with a stencil, then it looks a bit more natural. Got a very intense highlight on the end there because of course it's sticking out further than the rest just because of the shape of it. And there won't be any highlights on that side because it's in shadow. I was wondering if I should use some smoke black and add a shadow from her going across it. I don't know. Might look cool. Let's try it and see. So another colour switch. Going back to the detail smoke black again. I'm only going to need a tiny amount, so I've got 1 drop of paint if it drops. Thank you. And I want it quite transparent, so 1 drop of paint, 2 drops of reducer. Two drops of transparent base. Which is an obscene amount of paint for what I'm about to paint, but hey ho. So, lights from up there, so her belly shadow is going to be about like that. Just use the air to make sure that's dry. Right, let's zoom you out again. Yeah, that worked well. I like that. That looks pretty cool. What I am gonna do though, with a black watercolor pencil and my super sexy pencil sharpener. Don't mock me. This is a really good pencil sharpener. They're about £2 from Tesco's, but they are so good. And it looks like a cow. I'm just going to add a few little shadows just around her chest emblem to make it look a bit more 3D. What's that? You're not using an airbrush? Oh my god. That's it. Unsubscribe. Yep, and it's husky wee time. So I'm just going in where the paint hasn't quite got right to the edge in some places. Just tidying things up, really. Hiya, Tony. You caught me cheating with a coloured pencil, mate. And I've got a white one somewhere. Really annoying that I ripped the paper up there, but never mind. Marvellous. Yeah, I'm liking that. Right, so we need to lock this down. So let's go for... what should we go for? Let's go for the old Autoborn transparent sealer again, but this time I'll use this trusty thing to spray it, and I'll probably set off my smoke alarm with it as well, because I'm good at that. Yeah, good old shake. Sure it's nice and mixed. You done, Marshall? Come on, mate. Once again, a very obedient husky. So this has just got a 0.5 needle in it. That's the only reason why I'm using this one. Come on in, you can, mate. Good boy. Spray that out my back door so I hopefully don't set the smoke alarm off. Because it does that. The UVLS clears and the autoborne sealers set off smoke alarms if you spray them too much. Beans, that's that all clean. And just to make sure that's dry, let's hit it with some heat. Cool. What time we got? 10 to 9. I might as well call it there then, guys, really. We're I'll start the skirt next. But of course it's going to take me 10 minutes to cut that out. So we may as well call it there. So there we go. We've done the logo and we've done the belt, and we've used coloured pencil just to, I don't know if I can zoom in enough on them to show you. Try and focus. There you go. So I've just used a coloured pencil just to get where I didn't quite have the mask lined up. There was like a tiny little like millionth of a milliliter white line going down there. So I just used the black coloured pencil just to fill those bits in. And add a little shadow under there and under that corner there, and then we've done the belt as well. There we go. Yes, so I will be back next Saturday. We'll carry on with this. I am still doing the Big Trouble in Little China guitar, but I'm doing like a load of tiny little details that they won't make good viewing. You'll get very bored. So I'm just working on that as well in the background, but we'll carry on with this next week, and like I say, we'll do the skirt and probably the cloak as well, because they're both red, so get the cloak and the skirt done in one go. Yeah, I think that's a plan. So thanks for joining me again. Hopefully I'll see you all next Saturday. If you're about, if you're not busy, it'll be lovely to see you. Take it easy, and one of these is my ending screen, wherever it is. There it is. Cheers, guys. Take it easy. Bye bye.